or not your favorite football players were once children, do you think you can recognize them if I showed you a photo of them as a child? Today, we're going to find out. I have 20 different footballers, and I've found the youngest photo that I could of each of those footballers. Your goal is to try and identify who that player is. I will have some hints if you need it. For the most part, this should be an easy quiz. So I'm going to say passing is 20 out of 20. If you get one wrong, you fail. I'm just kidding. But, you should be able to get a good score. So let's start. Let's start with the first question. Welcome back, everyone, to another video. This is more of a visual video. If you like these visual videos, let me know. You can still try and play with your eyes closed, but it's going to be pretty difficult, but you can try and make a guess. Today, the difficulty is not going to be increasing. It's going to be random. So the first one could be a very, very difficult question. The next one could be an easy one, and then a medium one. So you never know what you're going to get. So let's start with the first one. Bam! Now, I will tell you this. Usually my videos start off with two very, very important players. Usually if it's a new idea, and this is a new idea. But today I've decided not to do that. So this is not Ronaldo or Messi. So you cannot guess those and get it right off the bat. You have to use some knowledge today, okay? So here is the first player. This is the youngest I could find. Actually, there was one of him herding goats, but the image was too bad quality, so I decided to do this one. Some of these were very poor quality, so you could barely see it, and I want you to be able to tell it, who it is from your phone, like on a small screen. So this is the best I could find for this player. I would assume that you can recognize who this player. He looks fairly similar to how he looks now, maybe minus some facial hair. But lock in your answers now. I will be giving a hint. There are two hints. If you answer after the first hint, you get 0.5 points. If you answer after the second hint, you get 0.25 points. And maybe there'll be bonus questions. So even if you don't get a perfect score, you can get 15 out of 20. Or even just a passing grade out of 10 or 11, I guess would be passing. Alright, answer a lot. Here is the first clue. He broke the Messi and Ronaldo Ballon d'Or streak in 2018. So this player won the Ballon d'Or in 2018. Who could it be? Who could it be? Alright. Answers are locked for that clue. The second clue. This player has won 6 Champions League titles with Real Madrid. 6 Champions League titles with Real Madrid. Also, yes, I did get a haircut. Thank you. I want to flip my hair back, my non-real, imaginary hair. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Alright, answers are locked. The first player that we have today is the Croatian legend, Luka Modric. If you gave him longer hair, he will look the same. I guess he doesn't age. He's like 40 now, right? That's crazy. Alright, next player. Okay. The next player is... Bam. This is a much older photo, I think, than the Modric one. So do with that what you will. There's also a Liverpool poster. Do with that what you will. Maybe that tells you who it is. Maybe it doesn't. Some of these will have certain clues, which may help. So even if you don't know who the player is, you can look at the background and the accessories to try to help. But sometimes it may turn you away from the real answer. It may be a trick question. Alright, do you know who this player is? Lock in your answer right now. is the first clue if you're still confused. This defender made over 700 appearances for Liverpool. I think later in his career he played like a defensive mid. I think so. We're just going to say this defender style player, this defending player, did play for Liverpool. And it's cool to see players who grew up as fans of a team to then go on and play for that team. I think that's really, really awesome. So this player's living his childhood dream. Alright, answers are locked for the first question, or first clue. Here's the second clue. He is now a high-profile pundit, known for his banter with Gary Neville, and I'd argue with Thierry Henry, and I'll argue with Mika Richards. If you don't know what a pundit is basically a announcer, or like those guys that talk about the game. They're all sitting at a table and they're all talking about the game in between like halves, or I think pre-games and post-games. So if you're American or Canadian, you'll see it a lot in like in basketball. I think it's TSN, not TSN, TNT, the one with Shaq. It's basically like Shaq, but football. Alright, answers are locked. This player is the Liverpool legend, Mr. Jamie Carragher. Jamie Carragher. Alright. That was question number 2. Here is player number 3. The cars outside want to say hi to you today. Alright. Here is the next player. Oh, let me press on my keyboard. Which way am I going? This way. Bam! Who is this player? There is a more famous photo you may have seen, but I chose not to do that one, as this one is younger. And this one still looks like this player. Who is this player? If you're looking at the clothes, it says Timberland on it, I believe. That's not a team, so it doesn't really give you any hints. Who is this player? Now you should know. If you don't know, let me give you some hints. For the first clue, alright, lock in your answers now if you want the full points. He is the youngest player to score in a World Cup final since Pele. The youngest player to score in a World Cup final since Pele. Who is it? Who was the World Cup final scorer other than Pele? Okay, answers are locked for that clue. Second clue. This can't be right. Is that right? That's crazy. Anyway, he is the all-time leading goal scorer for Paris Saint-Germain, PSG. I didn't think he was there long enough to become the all-time leading goal scorer. He must have performed very, very well. I mean, Messi was there too. This isn't Messi, by the way. I didn't, if you're wondering. You shouldn't be wondering, but anyway. Alright, answers are locked for all of those. This is the Kid Wonder. Well, not anymore. He's older. He is the Ninja Turtle, Mr. Kylian Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe. The famous one is him in his room with posters of Ronaldo all over his room. So in other words, I'm Kylian Mbappe. Alright. Next player. Here we go. I think this is player number 4. Here we go. Bam. Now, there were older photos of this player, and he just looked way too similar to how he looks now, so I couldn't use that. So I decided to use this one. You could technically tell who it is, but it's also fairly difficult. That's why I like this one. This is going to be a tougher one. And it's on question number 4, which is pretty early. But here he is, player number 4. He is wearing an Aston Villa jersey or kit. But does that mean anything? Did he used to play for Aston Villa? Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. Alright, what are your first guesses? Please lock it in now. We can brainstorm. Okay, tell me who it is. Okay, that's completely wrong. You should change that answer. What's your second answer? Okay, that is 100% correct. You should lock that one in now. Okay, here is the first clue. This is the first British player to be signed for a £100 million. No, million euro. Wait, pound. Wait, what is that symbol? No, I think it's pound. Transfer fee. Yeah, that has to be pounds. Either way, it's a lot of money. The most expensive British player transfer, essentially. Who is that? Who was this player? Alright, answers are locked. The next clue. This player was a key part of Manchester City's historic treble-winning squad. He was a part of Manchester City's historic treble-winning squad. Who was this player? Or who is this player? Answers are locked. This player is I think he's still at Manchester City. No wait, actually I could be wrong actually. Either way, he played for Manchester City. And he played for a team, I don't know if it was Aston Villa or West Ham or what was the team? I swear I had these colors. It might have been Aston Villa. I'm not sure actually. Anyway, the player is Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish. And I think his hairstyles are like what makes him iconic, and there's a young photo of him basically with hair that was so big, and I'm like, they're gonna recognize who that is right away, so I chose not to do that one. Alright, next player number 5. Bam. This is such a cute photo. This is a very, very cute photo. They are wearing a Manchester City top. Do they still use that? No, they changed the logo, right? I love that logo. I love the eagle bird thing. I don't like the one that it is now. I like that one. I think that one's their best logo. Who is this player? A young blonde boy. Who is it? In a full Manchester City kit. Who is this player? Alright, answers are locked for the full points. Here is your first clue. You know, it is going to be pretty difficult to tell, but after the clue, you should get it. This player holds the record for the most goals in a single Premier League season, and that record is 36. The record for the most goals in a single Premier League season with 36. Who is this player? Now it's Premier League. Does that mean he plays for Manchester City? Or that he did play for Manchester City? Does this mean that he's English? Or not? Good questions. Alright, lock in your answers. Here is the second clue. He is nicknamed the Terminator for his physical dominance. The Terminator. Dun dun dun. Alright, answers are locked. The answer is the incredible Norwegian who currently plays for Manchester City, Mr. Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland. first 5 questions done. I would say we're going to the medium category now, but they're all scrambled today, so it could be easy, it could be hard. Let's find out. Here's player number 6. Bam. Okay, take your time with this one. This was also a little difficult. Not too crazy difficult, but a little bit. Ooh, the first clue. I don't know if the first clue can even help you much, if I'm honest. It wouldn't help me. Oh, this is a huge curveball. Ooh, you know what? Ooh, no, okay, I was gonna do a different hint. No, this is a tough quiz. It's meant to be a tough quiz. We're gonna stick with what we have. Okay, lock in your answers for your initial guess of this player. He roughly looks similar to today, but if you don't know who it is fairly difficult, I will say. Alright, here is the first clue. This player received an MBE for his activism regarding child food poverty in the UK. So, the UK is a very, very big clue. I don't know what an MBE is. Maybe you can tell me. But Medal of, I don't know, for his activism regarding child food poverty in the UK. Alright, first clue, answers are locked. Second clue, this player scored on his Premier League, Europa League, and England debuts. So, a player that can score goals. And plays in the Premier League, or used to play in the Premier League. Alright, answers are locked. I wanted to do his celebration, but I don't remember. I was going to do the Sterling one, where it was like, that thing, anyway. But I'm pretty sure this one has a celebration. I just don't remember what it is. Anyway, the answers are locked. The player is Mr. Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford. Mr. Marcus Rashford. Now that I say it, now you can see it, right? Okay. Next player, player number 7. Bam. Who is this player? I had to go with the youngest I could for this player. Who is this player? You may have to zoom in on your phone or zoom in on your computer, put full screen. Who is this player? He still looks very, relatively similar to today. You can't really tell what jersey he's wearing or anything like that. But you will get it after the first clue. It's going to be a very easy clue. So you're guaranteed at least 0.5 points here, especially if you've watched any of my previous videos. This clue has been used in countless videos. Lock in your answer for the full points. And here is the first clue. This player has won a record 8 Ballon d'Ors and the 2022 World Cup. Who can that be? There's a lot of photos. So I've seen a lot of the famous football players, a lot of their younger photos. So I try to choose ones that, if I've seen it, is probably spread on social media, and you've probably seen it. So I don't want to choose something that you've already seen. I've never seen this photo, so I chose this one. Alright, answer a lot for the first clue. We know who it is at this point, but if you still don't, he spent 21 years at Barcelona before moving to PSG and later Inter Miami. Okay, lock in your answers and repeat after me all together now. This player is Mr. Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi. I think it's his eyes that give it away. He still kind of looks the same. Looks like he's chasing after a ball. Okay. Next player, player number 8, I believe. Bam! You should know who this is. He looks the same, roughly, without the facial hair and the cool hairstyle. This is back when he had a bowl cut. Okay. Who is this player? Do you know who it is? Okay. Lock in your guesses. Alright. Here is your first clue. He holds the record for the most capped player. So the player who made the most appearances in the history of the Spanish national team. So your first clue is that he's Spanish, essentially. And he has the most appearances on the Spanish national team. Who can this be? Alright, next clue, which for the casual fan may not really help too much. He is famous for his 93rd minute equalizer in the 2014 Champions League final. Who is this player? I will give you a Daniel clue just for free if you want it. My clue is him and Pepe were the most lethal defending duo ever. And by lethal, I don't just mean good. I mean they can hurt you and damage and injure you multiple times in one game. If you were near the ball, they're gonna take you down with the ball. Alright, answers unlocked. The answer is Mr. Sergio Ramos. Sergio Ramos. He looks the same. If you change his hairstyle, he looked the same. Alright, next question. This question is a very, very special question because it's the weirdest photo I have. Now, the player is not Messi. We've already had Messi. But who is this player? Now, I don't know the story behind this. I honestly don't know why Messi is washing this baby. I don't know why. Like, if he's selling something that doesn't show any branding of anything, maybe for Adidas, like he's wearing Adidas shoes. But what does that have to do with washing a baby? I don't know what's happening. Also, I don't know if I was supposed to switch sides. Am I on the same side? Oh, well, it's okay. Who is this? Anyway, lock in your answer. This is a football player that he's washing. He grew up to be a professional football player. Alright, first clue. He is the youngest ever player to score in a European Championship. So Euro 2024, the Euro Cup. Who is this player? The odds of this happening, that this player becomes a pro after being washed by Messi. Was he blessed by Messi and he got all of his powers? Like the movie Like Mike. Except he's not putting on shoes, he's getting washed by the player. Anyway, lock in your answers. Here's clue number 2. This player made his debut for Barcelona's first team at the age of just 15. That must suck. Think about this for a second. You're a 20-something-year-old player. You worked your butt off to get to the first team or even just the B team of Barcelona. And a 15-year-old kid takes your spot to join the pro team. That's crazy. That just tells you how special this player is. Alright, answers are locked. That was all your clues. We're no longer going to be seeing this photo. The answer is Lamine Yamal, the greatest young player at the moment. Lamine Yamal. Why is he being watched by Messi? I don't know. Someone in the comments, please let me know. I'm sure one of you knows. who it is. And if you know who it is, I will give you a bonus point. Or not who it is, why this photo was taken. If you know it off the top of your head, you get a bonus point, okay? Whether you tell it in the comments or not. Just give yourself a bonus point if you know it. Alright, I think we're about halfway or almost halfway. Let me make sure here. We are halfway now. After this next question, we're on the 10th player now. If you haven't liked or subscribed yet, please do. If you want to see future videos like this or other trivia questions. Or if you want to see more babies being washed by Messi. I'm just kidding. This is going to be the last time I ever show that, most likely. Alright, question number 10. Bam! Who is this player? Let me just move it on my screen. Who is this player? It's funny because I don't think I've ever really looked at this player's face that much. Not that it's ugly or anything. As you can tell, this person has blue eyes, I think, or green eyes. They have light eyes, basically. This is a very, very young photo. This is very difficult to tell. But this is similar to, I think, the Rashford one and the Messi one, where they're young. Especially the Messi one, they're young. But if I tell you who it is, you can be like, oh, I can see it. But if you see it without me telling you anything, it's kind of hard. It may be difficult to actually decipher who it is. Okay. Answers are locked for the full points. Your hint is going to be an easy one if you've watched my videos. This player scored 5 goals in 9 minutes against Wolfsburg in 2015. So that gives you kind of a clue. Whether that could be a German team in the Bundesliga, or maybe the Champions League or Europa League facing off against Wolfsburg. Who knows? That is your first clue. Second clue. This player broke the record for most goals in a single Bundesliga season with 41. So I think it was Holland. I think it was 36 that he scored, which is the record for Premier League. So the record for the Bundesliga is 41. That's impressive. I wonder if it was that season that he scored 5 goals. Probably, right? Alright, answers are locked. Alright, this player plays or used to play in Germany. Now plays for FC Barcelona. He is a Polish player. He is Mr. Robert Lewandowski. Robert Lewandowski. Let me know in the comments if you got tricked by this one. I apologize if it's too hard, but it has to be difficult. Sometimes easy, sometimes difficult. Alright, question number 11. Speaking of sometimes easy, sometimes difficult. This one I think is pretty easy. It's also the youngest photo I could find before it got way too easy to identify him. If you know, you know. Alright, please lock in your answer. Okay, answers are locked. Here is the first clue. This player is Manchester United's all-time record goal scorer. Is that Ronaldo? No, that's a free clue for you. It's not Ronaldo. This is Manchester United's all-time record goal scorer. Okay. Lock in your answers for the first clue. Second clue. This player burst onto the scene with a stunning long-range goal against Arsenal at age 16. So he was a boy wonder. Or a wonder kid. Alright, you need a few seconds. Alright, answers are locked. If you want a Dano hint, think of this child, but get his ears and move them more. I don't mean to be rude, I'm just saying. I think it's one of his defining features, if you had to describe what this player was. Alright. Answers are locked. If you wanted to use a clue from the photo, He is wearing an Everton FC shirt, and this player made his debut for Everton. I believe it's, well, either way he played for Everton. This player is the one, the only, Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney. Also, it's funny when I'm searching for these photos, because I'm typing Wayne Rooney child photo, you get to see their children, and a lot of their children are playing now. Like Rooney has a son that's playing professionally, I think. Well, in like the youth academy, but still for like professional teams. So it's interesting to see the second generation. Alright, answers are already done. So we're moving on to the next question. Question number 12. Bam. This one is hard to find a young photo. I think I found one, but it was too bad quality, and you couldn't tell who it was. It just looked like some random kid. So this one, it gives a little bit more. It's an easy one. You should be able to tell who this is. I feel like the jersey, not the jersey name or anything, but the jersey color could be similar to a jersey he wore before. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'm just throwing a curveball at you. Okay, for the first original opinion or impression, answers are locked. Lock in your answers. The first clue. This is the fastest player to reach 100 assists in Premier League history. So a player who can assist in the Premier League. Who can that be? Second clue. This player has won the PFA Players Player of the Year award twice. The Players Player of the Year, so the other players think this is the best player of that year, which honestly is a huge compliment, because as a player, especially an opposing player, I don't want to vote for you. Alright, answers are locked. This boy is none other than Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne. He basically looks like that right now, if he just made his hair spiky. Alright, question number 12, I believe. Here we go. Bam. Who is this player? Look into the eyes. Look into his eyes. Who is this player? This photo is interesting because, again, if I tell you who it is, you know exactly who it is. But he could theoretically be other players. Like, he doesn't necessarily look like this player, because I'm very, very used to how this player looks. And I hope this is him, because there is an inscription on the photo. I might include it just so you could try to read it. I mean, you could try to. If you can read it, you can get the point. But I'm probably going to remove it. So this is him. But I feel like there's a lot of features nowadays that he doesn't have here, which makes it a lot more confusing. Alright. Lock in your answers now for first impressions. Here is the first clue. This player has won the league title in 4 different European countries. Where was this clue or question spoken before? Could have been a previous video, maybe. Alright, that is the first clue. Answers are locked. The second clue is regarding one of the greatest, in my opinion, the greatest goal ever scored of all time. Personally, he scored a legendary 30-yard bicycle kick against England in 2012. Not only that, he was backwards. His back was to the net. Wait, that's how a bicycle kick scores. You don't bicycle kick forwards. Anyway, he's 30 yards out. His back is to the net. He bicycle kicks it and it goes into the net. It's incredible. If you haven't seen it, you have to see it. Alright, answers are locked. This player is the one, the only, Mr. You're Welcome LA himself, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Did you get that one? Let me know. That one's a toughie. That one is a toughie. Alright, here is a easy one to help with the tough question that was. Bam. I wonder who this is. Who could this be? Let's all take a gander. Let's all think, who is this player? I wonder who it is. I wonder who it is. I wonder who it is. Alright, answers are locked for the first impressions. Here we go. First clue. This player is the all-time leading goal scorer in international football and the Champions League and all of football, technically. Who is the greatest goal scorer of all time? I wonder who it is. Alright, answers are locked for the first clue. The second clue. This player has won 5 Ballon d'Ors and the Euro Cup, the European Championship, in 2016. So which player scores a lot of goals and has won 5 Ballon d'Ors and the Euro Cup in 2016? Which is the greatest footballing year in young Dano's history? Alright, answers are locked. Why is it such an important thing to me? Because I'm Portuguese. Portugal won in 2016. So if this player won the 2016 Euro Cup, that means they're Portuguese. And that means if I like this player, that means it must be the GOAT, the most important person in the world, the person who's on my photo, on my wall, and who I kiss goodnight every single night. I'm just kidding. It is the one, the only, Cristiano Ronaldo. And I appreciate the parade in the background, sending off this question, giving a high five to the GOAT, Mr. Cristiano Ronaldo. Alright, next question. What question are we on? 15. We are on 15 now. Almost there. After this question, and you get all of them right so far, you would have a perfect score and you would be in one of the top % of players who are going to be watching this today. Alright, here we go. Let's keep trying to get a perfect score or to just get as many points as possible. Here is the next clue. Or next player, sorry. Which side was I on? Bam! Who is this player? I cannot get a younger photo of this player. And he's also playing soccer. So he's making the same faces like he does now. Who is this player? He's wearing a blue and white jersey. Does that help? Does that make any difference? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Alright, lock in your answers for the first impression. Here is the first clue. This player is the all-time leading goal scorer for the England national team. We've heard this before. The all-time leading goal scorer for the England national team. So this person is English. That's your clue. And they score a lot of goals, so probably a forward. Most likely a forward. Alright, next clue. Lock in your answers. This player moved to Bayern Munich in 2023 to pursue major trophies. Maybe that's because he's on Tottenham, and Tottenham doesn't win any trophies. I'm just kidding. I love Tottenham. Alright, answers are locked. By the way, I put in 2 Tottenham players in my previous video. Okay, on my 2 videos ago. Okay, so I represent Tottenham as well. Okay. Alright, second clue. Here we go. I already told you. He moved to Bayern Munich. Okay, answers are locked. The player you're looking at here is the one, the only Mr. Harry Kane. Harry Kane, Harry Kane, Harry Kane, Harry Kane, Harry Kane. Alright, question number 16. Here it is. Bam! This is such a cute photo. This is a tricky one. And if you don't know who it is, you're going to kick yourself for not knowing it. Because theoretically, he doesn't look like what he looks like now. And I'll explain. But leave your first impressions here. Lock in your answers. Okay, answers are locked. Here is the first clue. This player won the Ballon d'Or in 2022 after a legendary Champions League campaign. So Modric won 2018, breaking up the Ronaldo-Messi era. And in 2022, this player won. Who is this player? Do you know who it is? Okay, answers are locked. Here's the second clue. He is the second highest goal scorer in the history of Real Madrid. The second highest goal scorer in the history of Real Madrid. Who is this player? Answers are locked. Actually, no, unlock the answers. I will give you a Daniel clue. The Daniel clue is pretend this child has no hair. Either a buzz cut or just straight up bald. What would he look like? Who would he look like? Alright, answers are locked. The answer is the French maestro in attack, Mr. Karim Benzema. Karim Benzema. I'm not used to seeing him with hair. So seeing him with a full head of hair, like a lot of hair, is very, very funny. That's why I really like this photo. Alright. Next question. Here we go. Question number 17. 16. 17. Here we go. Alright, here we go. Bam. Who is this player? It's too obvious. This was an easy one. This player's face is so unique that you can't confuse him with anybody else. The smile, the joy in his eyes, the joy of playing football. You know who it is. Put in your first impressions right now. Okay, answers are locked. The first clue. This player famously received a standing ovation from Real Madrid fans while playing for Barcelona, which is unheard of. The opposing team is clapping for you, standing and clapping, because of what kind of player you are. That is very, very impressive. Alright, answers are locked. The second clue. This player is one of the few to win the World Cup, the Champions League, and the Ballon d'Or, which doesn't really help much. Because technically it could be Lionel Messi. But it's not. It could be. No, I'm just kidding. It's not. Alright, answers are locked. The answer is one of my favorite players. An absolute pleasure to watch. And inspired so many people to start using skill moves and to act and play with more flair. It is the one, the only Mr. Ronaldinho. 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 Alright. Next player. We're on player number 18. So 3 more players left. You still have a good chance of getting a good score. Here we go. The player is Bam. Who is this young player? Will you use what's in the photo to help you guess this player? Should you use what's in this photo to help you guess this player? Maybe, maybe not. Lock in your first impressions right now. Okay, impressions are locked. Here is the first clue. This player was the top scorer and best player at Euro 2016? But Dano, you just said Portugal won Euro 2016. They did. Is this player Portuguese? Also, I think that's a very trick question. I think this player is part Portuguese. I heard that something like he could have played for Portugal if he chose to because of some sort of ancestry. I'm not exactly sure, but I would have to check that. Alright, first clue, answers are locked. Second clue, he is the all-time leading goal scorer for Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid. Who is this player? Answers are locked, but for a Dano clue, I'll unlock it. He is French, so you can use his jersey to help. He is a French player. Okay, answers are locked. Answers are done. The answer is Mr. Antoine Griezmann. Antoine Griezmann. So the best player wasn't even a Portuguese player. But Portugal won because of Eder, Ronaldo, and the butterfly. If you know, you know. Alright. We are moving on to the second last question, or player number 19. Here it is. Bam. They are eating McDonald's. This is not a sponsored stream. But if McDonald's wants to sponsor me, I'll eat a Big Mac. Alright, here we go. This player looks the same now. I'll tell you that much. So a fairly easy one. Answers are, well, first impressions answers are going to be locked. It's going to be a quick one because you know who this guy is. But if you don't, here is the first clue. He was the first defender to win the UEFA Men's Player of the Year award, which I think they should do more of. Again, I was a defender growing up. I love defending. I think defenders should get a lot more recognition. This guy got recognition, and rightfully so, to beat out all the forwards and good players that get the limelight. This player deserves to get this award. He is a very, very good defender. Alright, answers are locked after the first clue. Here is the second clue. This player captained Liverpool to their first Premier League title in 30 years. That's a long time. In 30 years. Sounds like a time that Tottenham knows very, very well. I'm just kidding. So he was the first defender to win the UEFA Men's Player of the Year award, and he captained Liverpool to their first Premier League title in 30 years. Answers are locked. The answer and the player that you're seeing here is Mr. Virgil van Dijk. Virgil van Dijk. Virgil van Dijk. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are down to the last question. If you're on a perfect score right now, you only have one person standing in your way. Can you get it right? Are you 14 out of 20 and you need that one more to get 15 and be a true fan? Let's find out. Here we go. The answer, or the question. The player is... Bam. Here is... It's an easy one. It looks exactly the same. He looks so similar to now. I thought this was AI. I thought this was an AI picture of this player. Because if you just age him a little bit, maybe change the hair, you don't even need to change the hair. It's literally just put him on a jersey of one of the teams that he's played for and you'll know who this is. Alright, first impressions are locked. Here is the first clue. This player became the most expensive player in history following his 222 million euro. That's a euro symbol if I've ever seen one. 222 million euro move to PSG. 222 million euros to move to PSG. Alright, answers are locked for the first clue. The second clue. He surpassed Pelé as the all-time leading goal scorer for Brazil. So he's a Brazilian player. and the most expensive player in history. Who is this player? Answers a lot. The answer is Mr. Samba. Neymar. He looks the same. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for joining me on this weird, crazy video. What's that? You want a bonus question. You need one more point to get the score you want. Say less. I'm here to help. Here's the bonus question for today. Alright, here we are. The bonus question. Bam. Who is this player? Pretty easy. Depending. They're wearing a Manchester United kit. Does that mean anything? Possibly. If they're wearing a Manchester City kit, and they played as a child, does that mean they played for Man City? Because technically they're wearing the jersey, they're representing. Who is this? Alright, answer a lot for your first impression. The first clue. This player is the youngest player to ever win 6 Premier League titles. The youngest player to win 6 Premier League titles. Who is this player? And who has won 6 Premier League titles? Which team has won 6 Premier League titles? In quick succession to help him become the youngest player to do so. Interesting. Alright, first clue. Answers are locked. Second clue and final clue. He was named the Premier League. What? Oh, sorry, I got so confused. He was named the Premier League Player of the Season for 2023-2024. Who is this player? Now, I want to give you a Daniel clue. If you not only watch my videos, but you look at the comments, you'll see that I had a good conversation with someone, I forget your name, I always forget the names, I apologize, about this player, because their nickname was The Sniper, but the viewer was saying that they disagree with that nickname for this player, and honestly, I don't hate that opinion. I kind of agree. But he did win Player of the Season 2023. He still is a good player. Answers are locked. The answer is the one, the only, Phil Foden. And there you have it, folks. That is the end of the quiz. Please let me know how much you scored. Did you get a 20 out of 20? Did you get 21 out of 20? Like someone on my previous quiz got like 31 out of 30, which is incredible. Let me know which videos you want me to do next, what you want to see next. Should I bring this back and do more players and their childhood photos? Let me know. But most importantly, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and have a great rest of your night. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, love yourself, love one another, and most importantly, have a good sleep.